All right, he's got the second best name in Rhode Island, Tony Maione, after 15 years with United Way of Rhode Island, 13 as its CEO. Said he is retiring, and it is in the Providence Business News. Joining us now to talk more about it, Mark Murphy, editor. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Mario.
Yeah. First of all, what prompted it? It's just retiring?
Yeah, I think it's just retirement.
Yeah. One of the things I remember, the first big change that they went through was moving from the east side to where they are in Olneyville. That was a big undertaking for them, huh?
Yeah, and that sort of really speaks to what the transformation of the organization that Maione has led, and that's to be more connected to the community in different ways. I mean, they moved. They took over the 211 line. I mean, they have per capita the most calls on that kind of line of any United Way in the nation. So it's very active and very connects people to the services that they need.
Yeah, they wanted to be in the community directly with the people that they serve, or the majority of them anyway. They also took over the volunteer organization, right?
Serve Rhode Island.
Serve Rhode Island, yes.
Right.
I couldn't think of the name.
Right,
but
that's okay. And they and that coordinates all these volunteer efforts, and that sort of speaks to one of the issues that the United Way and Maione were trying to get at a few years ago, which has to do with how many nonprofits there are in Rhode Island, and are there too many? And the Rhode Island Foundation has the same kind of thing. There was a push to try to consolidate. I mean, there was a study, Maione said there was a study by former Senator Bill Bradley that said that in the United States there's $100 billion of nonprofit overhead that could be eliminated if there were more consolidations. Now, Maione said they've tried, they funded it, but one of the issues with nonprofits is people have an emotional connection. So even if you merge organizations, that urge, that connection to doing something good doesn't go away. And so just because you've eliminated you've eliminated some overhead, it doesn't mean that the people left feel good about it as much or as good as they used to. So it's a big challenge to try to shrink that so that more resources go to the services and not just to overhead.
Yeah, and in terms of their fundraising, he saw a number of challenges over the years as the economy got tight, people were holding back.
Well, there are a couple of things. Number one, he says it's close to $1 million less than it was in 2009. So it's still, but it's not just it's not the economy. I mean, that was at first, but now there are more direct online, GoFundMe, Kickstarter. So these are different ways that people now get their money out. So it isn't necessarily that the overall pot has shrunk, but what United Way can get to and what they can get traction with has shrunk at the same time. So they have to be much more active. At one point he says, we used to be a press release organization. Now they've got a whole lot of channels, but they also have to have content to go with these channels, as we all know about content.
That's right.
If you want to get out there, you have to have something to say. And so that's a challenge for them because they have a trust fund that covers their administrative costs, and they don't want to bust through that.
Exactly.
So it's very difficult for them to get more content, the messages out without adding people, which they don't want to do.
Yeah, well, certainly the end of an era for that organization. He's been there for quite a while now, and any idea what he plans to do next? Does he give you a hint?
Well, I don't remember a hint, so
okay.
See, I'm hoping he plays some golf or something. I mean, he's earned it.
Well-deserved retirement. All right, Mark Murphy, and of course you can read all about that and much more in the Providence Business News. Thank you.
Thank you, Mario.